Hello? It's a bit loud. How to make a radio play. Spellchestra presents how to make a radio play. The Spellchestra meet up in the character or radio play editing room.
Hello! It's time to play, everyone! It's playing time!
The editing room.
I think we need a word for the
Everyone,
next word.
ready?
Tell me,
Everyone ready to play?
where is the editing
Okay,
room?
pick a note.
A word with an expert in the
Cheers!
field
Pick a note.
of the editing room.
Misha? Pick a note.
With Misha,
Misha? Pick a note.
we have in the studio Misha,
Pick a note.
a renowned expert on the field of
Pick a note.
the editing room. Misha,
Misha?
could you
Pick a
say a
note.
few words about yourself?
Misha? Pick a note.
Yes, my name is Misha. I'm not sure if I'm an
Misha?
expert,
Pick a note.
especially not in editing, and especially not in radio plays,
Misha? Pick a note.
but nonetheless,
Misha? Pick a note.
I will do
Misha?
my best,
Pick a note.
and I can at least say that in the editing room, I think could be a place of negotiation, a place of discussion, where radio drama, radio play could form and could happen.
Certainly, that was a word with an expert. And for the listener just tuning in, we had Misha in the studio to tell us about the editing room. However, it was uncertain whether Misha themselves thought that they were an expert. I think it's time for a recap for new listeners. This is a recap. Today is the transmission in which the Spellchestra will try to define, or ask the question at least, how to make a radio play.
Let's go.
Just before the recap, we had a interview with a
for me.
Cheers!
And we are here in the editing room today. This one keeps the lock, so I will try to move it here. Yeah.
Better? Okay. So, time for a jingle.
I have a question. Can you please stop any other sound? But what is a radio play? Because we've tried to do stuff like this before, and I don't know. I think a radio needs a reportage.
That's a good idea.
So, in the studio today with us we have a reporter, and that is Misha. Misha, are you going to make a report on the mini bouquets?
I can report, and we can maybe also feature some ghosts from yesterday. But I can report from outside.
So what is happening right now is that the reportage is beginning. We are establishing a distance between the reporter and the editing room. Yeah.
So there have been assembled out here in the field a certain amount of mini bouquets, and I think the mini bouquet needs a bit of explanation. Back to the studio.
So a miniature bouquet is basically a bouquet of flowers, but also other stuff. For example, some plastic, a twig, a piece of paper, and it's all composed into a miniature bouquet. So the point is to kind of make the small things appear as bigger things in
Gathering
a smaller
is finally
universe.
about freedom, the courage needed to establish.
But, Monsieur, can you tell us, how are the miniature bouquets responding to the weather outside?
The cunning
Cheers.
requires.
Yes, the mini bouquets have been outside for almost 24 hours. They are freezing. They are certainly wet. They have also been made under similar conditions.
To maintain it, and above all,
Such as these. Some are have they have different characteristica. They have some glass, some have leaves and twigs. They are all of a bundle-like character. They are very wet. They are supposed to be sold. I was supposed to try and sell some mini bouquets, but there are not many buyers in this weather.
No, I imagine.
Should I bring some inside to see if we can sell some mini bouquets inside the studio?
Next up, miniature bouquets will be available for sale right now, right here in the studio, Drift Radio. If you're listening and you're at home, try to come to Drift Radio. Get your own bouquets. It's official. The Spellchestra is selling mini bouquets today as a feature inside how to a radio play. Plug in the keys.
So we could maybe present some of the mini bouquets. This one is made by Anybart. It's very wet. It's made of moss, and it has been bound by an elastic twig. And Anybart, can I ask, what state were you in when you made this particular mini bouquet?
It was a very, can I borrow one? Yeah, it was a very intuitive experience. It was sort of the first in the series of yesterday. The first thing that fell on my mind when I had sort of told myself, now I'm going to make a mini bouquet, the first thing I laid eyes on was this very wet piece of moss. Yeah, it's going around the room at the moment. A very wet piece of moss encapsulated by, you know, a few sort of very fragile twigs. And so I kind of like the very porous solution of the bundling of the stick. As we also talked about yesterday, maybe we could have a feature where we explain some main features of the mini bouquet. But it doesn't have to be right now. We can continue with the presentation of the mini bouquets, and then we can sort of, call back some stories.
That's a good idea.
To save money for the production, we will need to make a callback feature. It is essential in making a radio play that you are always ready to use the cheapest tricks in the book. So now we will have a callback feature. And does anyone have anything that they recall?
Can we call back something from the marketplace, maybe? Because I had a lot of fun at the marketplace. We sold stuff and we bought stuff, and it was just really amazing to just be gathered in Art Hub and just be ourselves and play some nice music. And in the end, can I say it? What happened in the end? Because we ate the money.
All of the money was while singing the last chorus. And actually the very sounds that we're listening to at the moment are recordings from that very night. So this is an actual callback episode we're doing at the moment. Like you were explaining the marketplace, this is the scenery. Let's hear, maybe I can turn it up a little bit. Someone else's constructing a jingle, and then we will move on with the presentation of the mini bouquets in the room. Maybe? So here's the jingle. Binding of a mini bouquet. There is a certain difficulty in making mini bouquets which pertains to the act of binding it together. You cannot bring stuff from home when you bind a mini bouquet, so you have to find something to bind it with. String, rubber bands, strips. Welcome. We have a visitor in the editing room.
Would you like to say something, or do you just want to move on?
What?
Windy mellow flute. And later.
We have a mini bouquet here, which is kind of an experiment that I made. It consists only of binding. It's a bundle of bundles, and on the Stringstrom was an initiator in making all of us making mini bouquets. But I have also been making mini bouquets for years, and even so, I still find new ways about this. Yes, this is a product of yesterday's mini bouquet binding session, and the mini bouquet, as you can see, consists only of the very material that holds it together. It's all binding.
I have a question for you, Misha, because I know that you can pay what you want, mini bouquets, but if you were to set a price on this exact mini bouquet, what would you say then?
They are not cheap. In the sense that I don't expect a high price in terms of number of coins, but if we are to at least exchange the mini bouquet for something, it should be something of a certain value, at least to the person who's on the other side of the exchange.
Because now I recall when you're saying this, that at the marketplace we sung this song called Siblings of a Coin. I'm wondering, so there is the coin, but who are the siblings of the coin? Have anything to do with the way you're pricing this right now?
We're entering a callback feature here. I think that's a very good question. This is how to make a radio play. Right now, we're entering into a callback feature. We will try to recall whether there is some sort of connection between the pricing of a mini bouquet and a specific song that the Spellchestra has sung before. The song is written by me, and it's called The Siblings of a Coin. This is a callback feature. The Siblings of a Coin in a callback.
we have the lyrics available. We can sing some of it and discuss.
Let's sing the siblings of a coin.
Okay. Maybe I will sing the first, and maybe you can just join in whenever you feel like, and we can just sing all of it together. I have a younger sister who was not of metal born. The siblings of a coin are many-faced. She sprang from stone one morning, from her home and bed was torn. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, state sealed and bound. All my siblings sharp and clean, and each of them a tooth. The siblings of a coin are many-faced, all of them assembled, also robbed of sacred truth. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, state sealed and bound. Sister was a knife, my brother was a symbol spade. The siblings of a coin are many-faced, stolen and inscribed without a voice to call for aid. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, state sealed and bound. Older brothers' cattle rounded up and marked by burn. The siblings of a coin are many-faced, cautionary, kept without a chance to make a turn. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, state sealed and bound. Bunch of siblings are alike, they're found down on the beach. Siblings of a coin are many-faced, all carry service units of a counter, one in each. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, state sealed and bound. My sister saw the grain in a bank in Babylon. The siblings of a coin are many-faced. Of limited resources have been stored a secret ton. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, stay sealed and bound. Base or precious categories of metallurgy. The siblings of a coin are many-faced, iron and aluminum in larger quantity. Verify, weigh or count, punch a hole, stamp around, stay sealed and bound. Spellchestra presents How to
Make video play.
We just had what you could call a musical feature. And just tuning in, it was a musical feature and a callback feature at one time.
And now we are back in the editing room.
It's good to be back. Okay, since it is going with the radio play.
It's going pretty well, but I don't know. We are, after all, in the editing room. I think a lot of the work that you did the other day is really precious in order to make this work. Do you agree?
Yep.
So to make a radio play, we sort of need some preparations. And the other day, you prepared all these titles. Spellchestra.
Another thing that we prepared reportages of yesterday. Was that also, were you referring to that also? Yeah. Before, when we did the reportage of getting the mini bouquets, we sort of created a distance between the radio units. So there was a kind of a glass wall in between the radio units. And now we will try to do another kind of separation, not only in space-time, but also in time-space. So yesterday we recorded these reportages, and I think it's time that we share them. They could both, this is the question, they could both be labeled as either a callback feature or a reportage, or a mix. I would call it Letters from Yesterday.
This is any bad. Yo, welcome. This is the Spellchestra on Drift Radio. This is the day before now, meaning this is not today, but actually they are recording the day before this takes place, and they are doing a radio play on how to make a radio play. And in order to do that, they thought that they could show up at the location approximately 24 hours before the show would begin, and do a live reportage of the scenery and the immediate surroundings that the radio play will take place inside. This is Anibart speaking, and as the first thing, they can walk a little bit closer here to someone doing an action. Can you present yourself and present the show as well to them?
So this is how to make a radio play presented by Spellchestra. And let me tell you, I am looking forward to hear this. And I am hearing it as I speak, but only a fragment of what it will eventually.
Crystal clear. And what is in your hands right now?
This is a miniature bouquet, and I'm having a rough time putting it together. I did have it together in a previous form, but then I took some changes, and now it's completely.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. And still gorgeous palette you have chosen.
Yes. And I must also say I'm a bit ashamed of picking small twigs and flowers and whatnot, because I know I'm going to have to do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know. Yeah, I could carry this, but I'm thinking of doing it again tomorrow. And then it's not a good thing if I have already taken all the small tricks.
Oh, okay, they get it, but one could say that you are just making the challenge harder for yourself, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
then you
eventually
learn.
you have to make the challenges harder for yourself,
Yeah.
or else you won't evolve, you won't really, you know, move in the field that you want to move.
Yep. They have a suggestion. This bouquet that you're holding right now and that they're speaking about. What if right now, tomorrow, you present this bouquet as they hear this recording?
That is a possibility.
Just for the listeners to also see tomorrow.
So tomorrow, this miniature bouquet would be in
probably a
the
certain time that you can
miniature bouquet
that, like when you
stand.
make a radio play.
In the selection of mini.
They will be sold.
It's kind of you can't play those
yeah, so
kind of clips too long because you will lose the attention
stand. Yes.
of the listener.
In the selection of mini.
And so you have
They will be
to
sold.
constantly
And
get the listeners.
yeah, so when I say tomorrow, it should
So an
be
example, I could use this
recapped.
recording and
In
maybe make
Austria.
it into the soundscape for the next segment of the show.
And
That could be a way to
I'll
use it.
give you the phone number right now.
Really interested to
now.
Miniature bouquet.
So they will try and use this message from yesterday to make a soundscape that we can go into the next segment, which is
Just
what's
the
happening now.
In the
You are
selection
invited.
of mini.
They will be sold. And
Okay,
yeah, so
this is
when I say
Malaysia
tomorrow,
in Austria.
yeah, so when
And
I
it's
say
melting.
tomorrow,
It is,
yeah, so
as you know.
And with that, so they
The
just need to
world
make a
is
new
dying.
here.
And we can
Recording
hear
here
it
to make a
in
new.
real
I think the
time.
tape.
So I'm gonna
Recording
call
here.
the glacier right now.
miniature, and
It's 0, 0,
So we are
3,
two
5,
thirds
3,
into the
5, 4,
radio play, how to make a radio play by Spellchestra.
9.
Right now we are in some sort
The
of
reason
transition.
I am calling this glacier is because it's my cousin, and therefore maybe an easy ally in a greater heist that we will perform tonight.
Directly and in real to the Fernat Glacier located in the Espal Valley, southern Austrian Alps, at a height of about 3,000 meters. Please wait a few seconds for the music to stop and, according to the season, you can expect the signals to be very soft.
Pharaoh Bond would like everybody to convince the glacier.
And what they are hearing beneath the soundscape from here is actually a recording. It's actually a special thing that we can mention in this program. Season 0, episode 1 of the Spellchestra was called Either, and was a sort of it was the third episode, and it was the Halloween special, and no one except me, anybody, has heard these recordings before. I heard them only first time yesterday, and it was it was Halloween special, so it was in October that the recordings were made, so this is actually kind of a special moment. It's sadly a bit low, the recording, so I'll just remove this. And also it's very, there's a lot of silence in this part, because this is the part where Erebon is conducting a ritual.
It was actually pretty epic and very different from what we've done past and after, because we were doing this more sort of theatrical thing where we had a more of an acting approach, which I think was very much worth the try, or what you say. It was really cool.
What was Erebon trying to
spoke. I'm forgetting that.
It was a glacier, an ice glacier that is melting, and you can call that ice glacier.
You can call the ice.
Yes. The phone number, and Erebon was calling the phone of this glacier. I think it's what we're hearing now, actually. Yes.
Of a glacier that was, or at least he said that, like a few years back, it didn't make a single sound, but now because it's melting, it does make a sound because of the water running from the ice. And I'm trying to find the phone number. You can also call it. Yeah, give me a moment.
That's great initiative. In the editing room here, we're working on finding the phone number for the glacier. And yes, it's time for a recap for new listeners if you're just tuning in.
We just had a callback feature back to season 0, episode 1 of the Spellchestra, where Erebon called this glacier. We're still listening to that recording now. What was also a theme that night was the heist. And Anybart is a bit of an expert on the heist. So, if I may, since we're back in the editing room, is it okay, Anybart, if I try to conduct a brief interview before we end about the genre of the heist?
A word with an expert on heists. It's very okay, yes. Brief on time?
We have on when we are supposed to end.
For both an interview and maybe even some more segments after that. But yes, it can be brief maybe.
Yes. Just curious about so how kind of a heist situation did the Spellchestra find themselves on that particular night?
So we were supposed to. Okay, let me take you back. The heist that we conducted this night was it was called the Daildegast heist, and according to Terminus law, Terminus the divine divider, the deity of private property, according to Terminus, anyone who removes or tampers with a border stone, dividing property within their lifetime, will, when they die, come back to haunt the place of the border stone. This is according to Terminus.
Maybe this question is a bit.
And when you do that, you become the Daildegast. You become this ghost is called the Daildegast. But it is not accorded. It is not accounted for what actually happens if you demolish the stone completely. Instead of removing or tampering with it, demolishing it altogether. And that's what the heist was about.
All the members of the Spellchestra become Daildegast.
Reply to that question? Do you
that
know
was
the
the intention, and I think the answer is a bit unclear, but the Spellchestra, I think maybe you all can also account for this, that the Spellchestra entered some sort of undead state, because you were supposed to locate and demolish the border stones within yourself, not only physical material border stones, but also the ones that are inside. So it was sort of like a trance state of going inside the body, locating the stones and demolishing them. It was just as much a spiritual heist as a material one. It was a heist in the spiritual realm. And that's why the heist was about doing something inside yourself.
But as far as I remember, from the Echo and M, well, did they somehow manage to escape the Daldegast state? Or, as far as I recall, there was a segue into M's verse that from the Echo and M performed together, while the rest of the Spellchestra were in a tranquilized Daldegast state.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really talked about, which is why I find it a bit awkward to tell it now on live radio. But, so M was pulling me aside while you were all spitting out the border stones. Okay, let's be honest, you saw us like talking in the or maybe you, sorry. But
Did not see any of this.
then maybe I shouldn't say it. Okay, but so M was like, hey, from the Echo, which is me, why don't we just like blindfold ourselves, just close our eyes, and then they can't reach us. And I had to say, okay, let's give it a try, because I mean, who wants to like spit out border stones? So we were like discussing this in the corner, and then also, okay, not to be like, we're not cruel. So what we also wanted to do was to play some nice resting music for the people who just went through this. We just make like a sequence of sound that wasn't, we just spoke about it, theatrical, anything, just drums and keys. And I think it worked, but I am a bit embarrassed that we had to not go through this together with you, and that I have to tell you now on live radio.
They figured that
yeah.
it's like, it goes
It's okay
something
for, I
like
hope it's
this.
okay for M.
Do you mind standing like back to back
So do I, but
that everyone
I'm realizing
can,
right now that you actually,
get
that you
your
and M actually kind of saved our lives in that action.
And everyone in
Because
this room
as far as I recall, being deep inside the
very
heist,
welcome to
we were
sing
starting,
along.
we had this encryption method that
Can we do
Mesha was
this?
taking care of. The encryption method that was sort of keeping the heist hidden from Terminus while we were conducting it.
They actually
This encryption method started to
know
fail,
the song.
and I think we lost control. Of course, we became undead, but we also, you know, yeah, we actually kind of, you know.
So what is happening right now is that the Spellchestra is discussing Zero Episode 1, where heist happened.
Again?
I'm happy you say that actually, Elibert, because I feel a bit weird about not telling you guys. Yeah, I'm happy it's out now.
Never keep the
Thanks for sharing. I know it couldn't have been easy, and like,
That's
yeah,
what
I hope you feel comfortable still with sharing that memory from the Echo.
Thanks for answering these questions about the heist. And can we maybe play a jingle?
Before we play the jingle, I have an urge to show you the phone number for the glacier. You call this number, you call Garde Glacier. And it's been on for 15 years.
Tell us more, tell us more.
hear them and store them away.
I can, for instance, try to call it quickly.
Keep the stories in the bag.
Around his bed they were carried away.
Tell us more, tell us more. Within your life, the stories in the bag. Tell us more, tell us more.
And everything was so pleasant.
Never keep the stories in the bag.
You can call it yourself and listen to the sound of the melting glacier. Shout out to Aeroborn for showing us this.
Never keep the stories
How to make a radio play.
flooded with the special consequence. Tell us more, tell us more. Because stories have suffered for too long. Never keep the stories in the back. The gloom from poisonous berries. Tell us more, tell us
We should maybe also say before we end that it is always possible to buy mini bouquets from the Spellchestra, but you have to locate them on your own. So that's up to you.
tell us more.
We would very much like to make a mini bouquet for you, and we're very interested in seeing what you have in exchange for them. We can maybe also maybe it's safe to say that sometime in the future the Spellchestra will also be hosting mini bouquet workshops for people to join and learn the craft at some point. But of course remember to buy them first from us and then learn to do it.
Tell us more, tell us more. And now you all know why we stood. Never keep the story.